The waves crash against the hull as a sleek, state-of-the-art warship carves through the ocean, carrying enough firepower to outmatch entire fleets. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's the reality of the U.S. Navy's modern destroyers. Beneath their steel exteriors lies a world of cutting-edge technology. Missiles that can strike targets 1,000 miles away, radar systems that can detect threats the size of a baseball, and weapons so advanced they make science fiction look outdated. The evolution of naval warfare. From battleships to high-tech destroyers. Think of standing on the deck of a colossal battleship during World War II, surrounded by massive guns capable of hurling shells the size of small cars. These floating fortresses, like the iconic Iowa-class battleships, were once the kings of the sea. They ruled with brute force, their immense firepower striking fear into the hearts of enemies. Back then, naval warfare was all about size and firepower. The bigger the ship, the bigger the guns, and the more intimidating it was. Fast forward to today, and those once mighty battleships are now relics of history. Many have been retired and turned into museum exhibits, silent witnesses to a bygone era of naval warfare. They still inspire awe, but they belong to a different time, an era when naval battles were fought at closer ranges, and raw firepower often determined the outcome. So, what replaced these steel giants? Enter the modern destroyer, a sleek, high-tech marvel that has revolutionized naval warfare. Ships like the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers are now the backbone of the U.S. Navy, and they're nothing like the battleships of old. If battleships were the sledgehammers of naval warfare, today's destroyers are more like precision scalpels, capable of performing a multitude of roles with unmatched efficiency. What makes these destroyers so different, you ask? Well, think of them as the smartphones of the naval world. Just like your phone can do way more than just make calls, these ships are designed to handle everything from missile defense to long-range strikes, anti-submarine warfare, and even cyber operations. They're integrated, adaptive, and incredibly powerful. A far cry from the single-purpose gun platforms of World War II. Back in the day, battleships relied on sheer brute strength. Their massive guns, like the 16-inch cannons on the Iowa class, could bombard enemy ships or shorelines from miles away. But their technology was relatively straightforward, even primitive by today's standards. Each weapon system operated independently, and coordination was often a manual, human-driven process. While battleships were formidable, they were also limited in their versatility and adaptability. Today's destroyers, on the other hand, are built around integration. They're not just armed with weapons, they're armed with brains. At the heart of modern destroyers lies the Aegis Combat System, a state-of-the-art network that connects every weapon, radar, and sensor on the ship. Think of it as the ship's central nervous system, processing information at lightning speed and enabling the crew to respond to threats faster than ever before. With Aegis, these destroyers can track hundreds of targets simultaneously, from supersonic missiles to tiny drones. This isn't just a step up from the radar systems of the past. It's a leap into the future. During World War II, spotting an incoming enemy ship or a plane often involved binoculars and radio communication. Now, a destroyer's radar can detect objects the size of a baseball flying at high speeds from miles away, even in bad weather or rough seas. And here's the kicker: modern destroyers don't just work alone. They're part of something the Navy calls distributed lethality. Essentially, every ship in a fleet shares its data with every other ship, creating a sort of hive mind. If one destroyer spots a threat, every ship in the fleet knows about it instantly. This level of coordination was unthinkable in the days of battleships, where communication was limited and often delayed. The evolution of naval warfare isn't just about new technology, it's about a complete shift in philosophy. In the past, the goal was to build bigger and bigger ships with bigger and bigger guns. Today, the focus is on adaptability and versatility. A single modern destroyer can switch roles seamlessly, defending against missiles one day, hunting submarines the next, and launching long-range strikes after that. Take the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers as an example. These ships are equipped with everything from advanced radar systems to vertical launch cells that can fire a variety of missiles, including Tomahawks and SM-6s. They're designed to handle any threat that comes their way, whether it's an incoming missile, an enemy submarine, or even a cyber attack. And they do it all with a level of precision and efficiency that battleships could never achieve. This adaptability is what makes modern destroyers so revolutionary. While battleships were designed for a specific type of warfare, destroyers are built to evolve. Their systems can be upgraded with new software and hardware, ensuring they remain at the cutting edge of technology. This means that a destroyer commissioned today could still be a formidable warship decades from now, a stark contrast to battleships, which quickly became obsolete as technology advanced. In many ways, the story of naval warfare mirrors the broader story of technology. Just as we've moved from clunky, single-purpose devices to sleek, multifunctional gadgets, the Navy has transitioned from massive, single-purpose battleships to versatile, high-tech destroyers. The tools may have changed, but the goal remains the same: to protect and project power on the high seas. The brain behind the brawn, the Aegis combat system. Let me tell you a secret about modern destroyers. Their real power isn't just in the missiles, guns, or fancy technology you see on the outside. It's in their brains. And by brains, I mean the Aegis combat system. This system is the mastermind behind everything that happens on these ships. It's the reason they can handle so many threats at once and still come out on top. If these ships were superheroes, Aegis would be their superpower. So, what exactly is the Aegis combat system? Think of it as the central nervous system of a modern warship. Just like your brain processes what you see, hear, and feel, Aegis gathers data from all the ship's sensors and radars, analyzes it in real time, and tells the crew and the ship's weapons what to do. It's always on, always thinking, and always ready to respond to a threat faster than any human ever could. Imagine you're on a destroyer patrolling the open ocean. You've got waves crashing against the hull, planes flying overhead, civilian ships moving nearby, and maybe even a storm rolling in. In the middle of all this chaos, the Aegis combat system is calmly doing its thing. Its radar, specifically the SPY-6 radar, is scanning the skies and seas constantly, tracking everything in a radius of hundreds of miles. And when I say everything, I mean it. Aegis can detect objects as small as a baseball flying through the air, whether it's a drone, a missile, or even debris. And it doesn't stop there. It keeps track of the speed, trajectory, and potential threat level of every single object all at once. This isn't just impressive, it's revolutionary. Back in the day, ships relied on separate systems for each weapon or radar. Communication between them was often slow and manual. If a threat appeared, someone had to spot it, report it, and then decide how to deal with it. That worked well enough when the pace of combat was slower, but today's threats move at supersonic speeds. You don't have minutes to react. Sometimes, you barely have seconds. That's where Aegis shines. It automates the entire process, from detecting a threat to deciding on the best course of action, and it does it all in the blink of an eye. One of the coolest things about Aegis is how it connects everything on the ship. It's not just the radar and weapons working together, it's the whole ship, from the engines to the computers. And here's where it gets even cooler. Aegis doesn't just work on one ship. Thanks to a concept called distributed lethality, it connects multiple ships into a network, creating a kind of hive mind for the entire fleet. Imagine this: one destroyer in the fleet spots an incoming missile hundreds of miles away. In the old days, that ship would have to handle the threat on its own, or call for backup, and hope the message got through in time. But with Aegis and distributed lethality, things work differently. The moment that missile is detected, every ship in the fleet knows about it. The data is shared instantly, so the entire network can react as one. If another ship has the best angle or weapon to take out the missile, it can launch an interceptor, even if it didn't detect the threat itself. It's like having a group of friends where everyone has each other's back, no matter what. This level of coordination isn't just useful, it's life-saving. Take the USS Mason, for example. In 2016, it faced multiple incoming missiles off the coast of Yemen. It wasn't just one weapon system that saved the day. It was the entire ship, with Aegis at the heart of it, coordinating radar, missiles, and countermeasures to neutralize the threats. Without Aegis, the outcome could have been very different, and the system keeps getting better. The latest version of Aegis, known as Baseline 10, takes things to a whole new level. It's faster, smarter, and more capable than ever. It can track over 150 targets at once, and guide multiple weapons to multiple threats simultaneously. During a recent test, a single destroyer equipped with Aegis managed to take out 4 incoming missiles from different directions in just 2 minutes. Think about that for a second. 4 supersonic missiles, all coming at the ship from different angles. And Aegis handled them like it was no big deal. But Aegis isn't just about defense. It's also a powerful offensive tool. It works seamlessly with the ship's long-range missiles, like the Tomahawk and SM-6, to strike targets hundreds of miles away. And because it's connected to other ships, planes, and drones in the fleet, it can launch those strikes with pinpoint accuracy, even if the ship itself can't see the target. It's like having a GPS-guided missile launcher that can borrow someone else's map. The Aegis combat system is more than just a technological marvel. It's a game changer. It has transformed modern naval warfare, shifting the focus from brute force to precision, speed, and integration. It's the reason why the U.S. Navy's destroyers are among the most advanced and effective warships in the world. And it's proof that sometimes the smartest weapon in the room isn't the biggest gun or the fastest missile. It's the brain making all the decisions. Close up, the weapons that make destroyers unstoppable. When you think about the firepower of a modern destroyer, it's not just about how many weapons it has, but how smart, precise, and deadly they are. These ships are packed with technology that makes them capable of defending against almost any threat, while also striking back with pinpoint accuracy. Let me walk you through some of the most impressive weapons these destroyers carry, and why they're a game changer in modern naval warfare. If you've seen a destroyer up close, you've probably noticed this turret-like system perched on the deck. It might look unassuming, but don't let its size fool you. The phalanx is the ship's last line of defense, and when it's activated, it's like watching a sci-fi movie in real life. This system can fire an incredible 75 rounds per second. Yes, per second, creating a wall of tungsten bullets that can shred incoming missiles, drones, or small boats in mere moments. What's even more impressive is that it's fully automated. Once it's turned on, it doesn't need a human operator. Its radar and thermal imaging systems scan the horizon for threats, track them, and fire with deadly accuracy. It's the ultimate guardian angel for a destroyer, stepping in when everything else has failed to stop an attack. But as impressive as the phalanx is, the ship doesn't always wait for threats to get that close. That's where the RIM-116, rolling airframe missiles, or RAMs, come in. These heat-seeking missiles are the destroyer's first responders when something hostile appears in the sky or on the water. Picture a missile that can zip through the air at supersonic speeds, pulling off sharp turns that would make a fighter jet jealous. The RAMs are designed to outmaneuver almost any target, whether it's another missile, a drone, or a fast-moving boat. What makes them so effective is their dual guidance system. They can track threats using radio frequency signals and infrared heat signatures, making them nearly impossible to jam or fool. Once they're locked onto a target, it's game over. And the best part? These missiles are ready to launch within seconds, giving the ship a fast and reliable layer of defense. Now, let's talk about one of my personal favorites, the Naval Strike Missile, or NSM. This is the stealthy assassin of the group. Unlike older missiles that fly high in the sky where they're easy to spot, the NSM stays low, just a few feet above the waves, making it almost invisible to enemy radar. It doesn't fly in a straight line either. It zigzags, changes altitude, and even takes indirect routes to its target, making it nearly impossible to predict. But what really sets the NSM apart is its brain. Inside the missile is an advanced imaging system that can identify specific targets, even in a crowded environment like a busy harbor. This means it won't be fooled by decoys or hit the wrong ship. It's like having a guided missile with a mind of its own, capable of making smart decisions mid-flight. If you're the enemy, you definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of one of these. For long-range strikes, destroyers rely on the Tomahawk Block V missiles. These missiles are legendary for a reason. The latest version, the Block 5, is a serious upgrade from its predecessors. It can hit targets over 1,000 miles away with incredible accuracy, making it one of the Navy's go-to weapons for precision strikes. What's fascinating about the Block 5 is its adaptability. It's not just a point-and-shoot weapon. Once launched, it can loiter in an area, scanning for targets until the perfect moment to strike. And if the target moves, no problem. The missile can receive updated coordinates mid-flight and adjust its course accordingly. It's like a sniper rifle and a drone combined, capable of taking out high-value targets with surgical precision. Finally, let's not forget about the Mark 45 Mod 4 naval gun. It might look like a traditional cannon, but this gun is anything but old-fashioned. The Mod 4 fires guided shells that can hit targets up to 20 miles away with pinpoint accuracy. Imagine trying to hit a moving target from the next town over. That's what this gun can do. It's equipped with an automated ammunition system, so it can fire up to 20 rounds per minute without breaking a sweat. And the shells aren't your average bullets. These are advanced, GPS-guided projectiles with small fins that allow them to adjust their course mid-flight. Whether it's a small boat, a drone, or even a land-based target, the Mod 4 can take it down with ease. What makes all these weapons so deadly isn't just their individual capabilities. It's how they work together. On a modern destroyer, every weapon is part of a larger system. The ship's radar and sensors, guided by the Aegis combat system, ensure that every threat is tracked and prioritized. If a missile is incoming, the RAMs, or Phalanx CIWS, will handle it. If there's a surface threat miles away, the NSM or Tomahawk will take care of it. It's a seamless, layered defense system that leaves no gaps for the enemy to exploit. The magic of integration, how systems work together. Have you ever watched a group of skilled musicians play together in perfect harmony? Each instrument adds its own unique sound, but it's the way they work together that creates something extraordinary. Modern destroyers operate the same way, but instead of violins and drums, their orchestra is made up of radars, missiles, and automated guns. The secret to their success isn't just the advanced weapons they carry, it's the way those systems integrate and support each other, creating a seamless and deadly defense. Let me explain. On a modern destroyer, no weapon works in isolation. Every radar, sensor, and missile is part of a larger layered defense system, designed to handle threats in a coordinated way. Picture this. Aegis, the ship's central nervous system, detects an incoming missile hundreds of miles away. Within moments, the system identifies the threat, calculates its speed and trajectory, and determines the best weapon to neutralize it. If the threat is still far out, the ship might launch an SM-6 missile to intercept it. These long-range missiles are like snipers, taking out threats before they get too close. But let's say the enemy missile is fast and manages to slip past the SM-6. No problem. Now it's the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile's turn. These smaller, heat-seeking missiles are designed for mid-range defense, zipping through the air at supersonic speeds to outmaneuver and destroy incoming threats. If, by some slim chance, the enemy missile gets past even this line of defense, the ship still isn't out of options. Enter the Phalanx CIWS, the last-ditch defensive system affectionately known as R2-D2 with an attitude. This automated gun fires 75 rounds per second, creating a literal wall of bullets that shreds anything that dares to come close. The beauty of this system is that it's not just about having multiple weapons. It's about using them in a coordinated way. Each layer of defense has its own role, and they're designed to back each other up. The result? A nearly impenetrable shield makes modern destroyers some of the safest and most formidable ships on the seas. This layered approach isn't just theoretical. It's been tested in real combat, and the results are nothing short of impressive. One of the best examples of this came in 2016 when the USS Mason, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, faced multiple incoming missiles off the coast of Yemen. It was a high-stakes situation. The missiles were fired from shore, and they were fast, unpredictable, and deadly. But the Mason was ready. First, the ship's Aegis combat system detected the incoming missiles as soon as they were launched. Aegis processed the information in real time, calculating the threat's trajectories and prioritizing them based on which one posed the greatest risk. Then, the layered defense kicked in. Mason launched standard missiles, SMS, to intercept the missiles while they were still at a safe distance. One of the threats was neutralized right then and there, but the fight wasn't over yet. Another missile managed to get closer, So the Mason fired off its RIM 116 rams, taking out the second threat before it could get too close for comfort. This wasn't just a fluke or luck. It was a textbook demonstration of how these systems are designed to work together. Without the integration provided by Aegis, the crew might not have had enough time to respond. But thanks to the ship's advanced technology and layered defense, every weapon played its part perfectly, and the USS Mason came through unscathed. That day, the crew showed just how effective this approach can be in a real-world scenario. What makes this system even more impressive is that it's not just limited to one ship. Modern destroyers are designed to operate as part of a fleet, and thanks to a concept called distributed lethality, they can share information with other ships, planes, and even drones in real time. Imagine one ship detecting a threat hundreds of miles away. That information is instantly relayed to the entire fleet, so every ship knows exactly what's happening and can prepare accordingly. If one destroyer has the best angle for an interception, it can take the shot, even if the target was spotted by another ship miles away. It's like having eyes everywhere and the ability to act as one unified force. This level of integration doesn't just improve defense, it also enhances offense. For example, a destroyer equipped with Tomahawk missiles can launch a precision strike against a target based on data provided by a drone or another ship. The same system that defends against missiles one day can be used to launch long-range strikes the next, all thanks to the seamless flow of information between systems. The magic of integration is what sets modern destroyers apart from older warships. Back in the day, each weapon system operated independently, and coordination relied heavily on human decisions. While that worked for slower-paced conflicts, today's threats move too quickly for manual processes. By integrating every system into one cohesive network, modern destroyers can respond to threats faster, more accurately, and more effectively than ever before. Beyond bullets and missiles, the future of naval warfare. Naval warfare is on the brink of a revolution. For decades, it's been about bullets, missiles, and torpedoes. Tools that have served their purpose well. But the future, it's shaping up to look a lot more like science fiction. We're talking about lasers that silently obliterate threats, autonomous systems that act without human intervention, and hypersonic missiles that travel faster than anything we've ever seen. The days of traditional naval combat are evolving into a new era, one where technology leads the charge. I know, it sounds like something out of Star Wars, but laser weapons are already here, and they're no longer just experimental toys. The Helios system is a perfect example of what's possible. Imagine a weapon that doesn't fire bullets or missiles, but instead uses focused beams of light to destroy its target. The Helios can take out drones with pinpoint precision, whether they're hovering nearby or buzzing in from miles away. The best part? It never runs out of ammunition, as long as the ship has power. Lasers are game changers for a few reasons. First, they're fast, like speed of light, fast. Unlike missiles, which take time to reach their targets, a laser hits instantly. This makes it ideal for intercepting fast-moving threats, like drones or small boats. Second, lasers are incredibly cost-effective. Firing a traditional missile can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but a laser shot costs just the energy it takes to power the beam. And third, they're silent and invisible to the naked eye, which means the enemy might not even know what hit them. During a 2023 test, the USS Preble successfully used Helios to destroy multiple drones, proving that this technology is more than ready for real-world use. But lasers are just one piece of the puzzle. Another exciting development is the rise of autonomous defense systems. These systems use artificial intelligence to do things that once required an entire crew. They can track, identify, and neutralize threats without needing human intervention. Think about how incredible that is. A system that doesn't just follow orders, but makes its own decisions based on real-time data. Autonomous systems are powered by advanced algorithms that allow them to analyze patterns and predict hostile actions before they happen. During recent tests, one of these systems tracked over 100 objects simultaneously, sorting out potential threats from friendly ships in just seconds. This kind of speed and accuracy is something no human operator could achieve. And the best part? These systems are always learning. The more data they process, the better they get at identifying and responding to new threats. It's like having a crew member who never sleeps, never makes mistakes, and only gets smarter over time. These missiles don't just break the sound barrier, they shatter it, traveling at speeds faster than Mach 5. Put that into perspective. A hypersonic missile could cover the distance between New York City and Washington, D.C. in under 5 minutes. The Navy's latest project, the Intermediate Range Conventional Prompt Strike Weapon, is pushing the boundaries of what's possible. During tests in 2023, it hit targets over 1,700 miles away with jaw-dropping precision. What makes hypersonic weapons so revolutionary isn't just their speed, but their unpredictability. Unlike traditional missiles, which follow a predictable arc, hypersonic missiles can maneuver mid-flight, making them almost impossible to intercept. By the time an enemy radar detects one, it's usually too late to react. This level of speed and accuracy gives naval forces a massive advantage, allowing them to strike quickly and decisively, even from great distances. But speed alone isn't enough. To deal with the complexities of modern warfare, the Navy is turning to quantum sensors, cutting-edge technology that's redefining how threats are detected. Traditional radars, no matter how advanced, have their limits. They can struggle to detect stealth aircraft or objects that blend into their surroundings. Quantum sensors, on the other hand, operate on an entirely different level. Using principles of quantum physics, these sensors can detect even the smallest anomalies, picking up threats that would otherwise go unnoticed. What's even more exciting is how these quantum sensors could integrate with existing systems. Imagine a scenario where a quantum sensor detects a stealth aircraft long before it comes into range of traditional radar. That data gets fed into the ship's Aegis combat system, which then directs a hypersonic missile to intercept the target before it can pose a threat. It's a perfect example of how new technologies are enhancing rather than replacing existing capabilities. All of these advancements, lasers, autonomous systems, hypersonic weapons, and quantum sensors, are more than just cool tech. They represent a fundamental shift in how naval warfare is conducted. The focus is no longer just on bigger and better weapons, but on smarter, more integrated systems that can adapt to any situation. It's about creating ships that are as much about brains as they are about brawn. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.